Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm doing my new golden retriever puppy's Ollie's, his 8 and 9 week old pup date. So we got Ollie nearly 2 weeks ago now, actually 2 weeks ago today, Friday, yeah. And we got him when he was like 7 weeks and 6 days, so just about 8 weeks, and he's now turning 10 weeks tomorrow. So I've had him 2 weeks. So I just thought I would kind of give an update on what he's been getting up to during kind of week 8 and week 9 of us having him. So yeah, so obviously when we got him he was a lot smaller than I expected. Ollie is my first kind of big dog puppy. We've only ever had kind of small medium-sized dogs before, so obviously golden retriever is a large breed, so I didn't really know what to expect from him being a puppy. But he was a lot smaller than I thought. I expected him to be like chunkier and chubbier, but he was actually quite like lean and a bit gangly, but still very small in size. And he's grown, like in the 2 weeks, like he's just like growing. He's growing like a weed. He's put on, he's a lot heavier now. His tail grew like a few inches overnight. Like he's starting to kind of lose the puppy look off his face already. It's just all happening so fast. But yeah, like they really do grow so fast. So yeah, already I'd be like, if you get a puppy, take loads of pictures, because they are only like that for like a second and then they grow. But yeah, no, I just thought, so basically we got him, he was quite small. Temperament wise, he was different to how I kind of anticipated. I kind of thought he'd get here, and I said this in my first week with our new puppy vlog. I kind of thought he'd be kind of cowering and nervous and yeah, you know, like kind of hesitant about his new home, but he actually just got out from the car and we put him in the kitchen and he was sniffing everything, exploring everything, wagging his tail, jumping on us. Like he was just so happy and confident, and which is really nice to see, because it obviously means that he's come from a home where he's been really well socialised, and which is really important for puppies. So yeah, he was a lot different to kind of our old dog Ralph, who was a bit more kind of reserved and hesitant about new things. Ollie's a bit more like, oh, let's explore, let's see what it is. He would still be kind of hesitant about things that he hasn't seen before, but in general he's a lot more kind of outgoing and about new things. So we settled in really well. The only issue we had, it's kind of, we've nearly working through it now, but the only issue we had was with the crate training. I believe did everything that we were supposed to do. Like we fed him in his crate, we gave him loads of treats, we spent time with him in there, we, you know, made it a fun place to be, and he just hasn't warmed to his crate at all. I kind of thought it would be a natural thing that he would just see that as his den and like would gravitate towards it, but it hasn't been the case. It's kind of, he doesn't seem to like it at all. He would much rather be on top of us. He's quite clingy, and even if we're like in the room with him, like it's not just enough for him to be kind of in the crate in the corner. He wants to be like with us. So that kind of meant that there have been some issues at night time when it comes to going to bed, because he cried. Like the first few nights he cried a lot, and I was kind of like, it was just it was hard to deal with. It was actually quite stressful, to be honest, like because he was just crying, getting so distressed, and then I'd go down and comfort him and try and put him back, and like it was just, very little sleep was had. He has kind of got a bit more comfortable with it now, and I think he kind of realises like, you know, I can stay here and be okay on my own, but he still isn't like, he doesn't like it. And I kind of think he'd be one of those dogs where it could very easily develop like kind of separation anxiety. So yeah, it is something that we're going to have to work on and watch. But other than that, like that would be probably the only kind of speed bump we've hit along the way. Toilet training is going like a dream. We bring him out every hour, and I think he's still probably too young to understand fully that we want him to only go outside, but I think he in another few weeks he'll have gotten it completely. The first few days he'd no accidents. He has had a few accidents since, but I think like when you get a new puppy, they're just always going to have accidents. Like it's very hard to get away with, unless you're super on it. It's very hard to kind of escape a few accidents, but in general he's been doing really, really well. I've been doing lots of kind of training. So far he knows sit, sit, down, stay, and like with stay we're kind of building up the duration and distance, but he is getting it.
Sit, down, up, and spin, spin, and spin. Well
done, yay! He knows spin, he knows he's learning speak, and the reason I'm teaching him speak is because he had a kind of habit of when we were making up his food and putting it into his bowl, he'd start barking. So I kind of decided to put the barking on the cue and be like speak, and then when he barks I'll click and reward, and then when he's being quiet I'll go quiet and click and reward, so I'm also rewarding the quiet. So the kind of whole aim of teaching him speak is that I can actually control the barking and make him be quiet. So yeah, he's learning speak, and he knows how to do his bell for going out to the toilet. Now he knows how to touch the bell when I say touch, but we haven't kind of yet pieced it together that the bell means going outside, which means going to the toilet, but we will over the next few weeks. But so far he's doing really well. He's really food orientated, so he's been really easy to train that way. He's as soon as I get the treats out, he's like, oh, okay, I'm really willing to work. We've got these kind of little training cubes from Alpha Spirit. I got them in Pet Stop and he loves them. So they're working really well because they're kind of training size, and you get them in like little packs that are Hero, and they're just so handy to kind of put in your training pouch. Kind of what else? Yeah, like even the differences between week 8 and week 9. Like week 8 he was sleeping a lot more. He would kind of be, you know, he'd have a nap for 2 hours, and he'd have like 20 minutes of hardcore play and then another nap, whereas now it's kind of more like the kind of play sessions are getting longer. So obviously we're waiting on him to be fully vaccinated. He's actually going for his second vaccine today, but there still is a waiting period after he gets that vaccine before he can actually go outside for walks. So yeah, I'm looking forward to him being able to go out for walks, because I think then that'll kind of expend some of the energy that he has. So socialization wise, I've been really keen to kind of introduce him to as many kind of different sights and sounds and smells and as possible, because I just think it's so important to kind of get yourself a well-rounded, kind of mentally stable dog, or well-adjusted dog. I just think it's so important that you take the time to actually properly socialize them as puppies. So things we've been doing is we've downloaded this Spotify playlist that has all different sounds, so like fireworks, ambulances, male sneezing, female sneezing, baby crying, baby laughing, dogs barking, cats meowing, like all those different sounds, lawnmowers, all those different sounds that he will encounter and will have to get used to. So we do that kind of nearly once a day with him. It's that kind of sound socialization. I've been doing kind of like little things, like for instance I was working on getting him used to hairdryer, because I know that, you know, he will be a dog that'll need baths and to be dried and stuff, so I wanted to get him used to the hairdryer. So I've been doing things like kind of putting the hairdryer on the ground, and as soon as he comes closer, kind of rewarding that, turning the hairdryer on, rewarding if he doesn't run away, like kind of like, you know, introducing him to different things. We've also kind of been bringing him out in the car for short little trips. We brought him to get his first harness fitted. So there was like, I probably could have just gone in and picked it up myself, but I decided to bring Ollie with us in the car because, yeah, it was like a trip out. If he got the car, he got to go into the shop, he got to see some other dogs there, he got to interact with the staff, like kind of, you know, so it was a bit more of a socialization kind of exercise for him. And then he got to be handled by different people, which again is important. So there was a whole lot of socialization in that. We kind of have been bringing him out in the car. Like for instance, I went to pick up a takeaway last night and I brought him in the car, so I just kind of keep trying to bring him in the car as much as possible so he can, so he gets used to the car and different sounds and different sights and stuff. We've also also been bringing him for walks in our arms because he's not allowed on the ground because he's not fully vaccinated yet. So yeah, just again so he can get used to sights, sounds, smells, the wind in his hair, all that kind of stuff. And yeah, like I'm going to keep continuing to introduce more kind of socialization things over the next few weeks. I'm hopefully going to try and arrange like maybe a puppy play date or something with another dog that is vaccinated, social distance style obviously, just because I just think it's so important that dogs and puppies get that, and I know it's much harder now in COVID times than when we're on lockdown. So yeah, the only other thing I can think of to talk about is him interacting with the cat. So it hasn't been going, I'm not overly happy with how it's been going. Like, it's not the worst either. Like, Ollie is quite reserved. He doesn't really chase after the cat or anything. He just sort of looks at her, and it's like oftentimes he sits down and actually like looks at her, but she just won't come near him. She's wary of him. She kind of puffs up and hisses at him if he does ever kind of venture a bit closer. But I'm really happy that he's not like bounding after her and chasing her, because I just think that would make it really stressful for her. So I do hope, and I'm going to actually kind of do some more reading about how to interact, how to kind of integrate the two of them together, because I would love for them to become friends. But I do hope that that eventually is kind of eventually they get to be friends. But yeah, I think it'll be a work in progress. Favourite toys would have to be kind of Tug toys. He's not so much for a retriever. We kind of thought like, oh, he'll love fetch, but actually no, he doesn't seem to get it at all. He's sort of like, okay, you've thrown it away, why have you done that? He really seems to enjoy kind of Tug toys, and yeah, he's obviously going through that puppy chewing phase at the moment, but again, that's just normal. We've been kind of giving him Kongs, and he's got like loads of chew toys, and he's got soft toys. He's got like an array of different chews. But yeah, he does kind of do the play biting and stuff, so we've kind of just been doing that whole like yelp really loudly and go to ignoring him if he does it when he's playing with us. So eventually he'll either learn to kind of bite a bit softer and be a bit more gentle, or just my humans don't seem to appreciate play biting. I might try and find a different way to play with him. So yeah, so that's basically Ollie for weeks 8 and 9. I'll probably do another update on him at maybe 12 weeks and another one at 4 months, 5 months, etc. I just think it'll be interesting to kind of monitor his growth and development over the next few months, and yeah, just for myself as well to look back on in a few years. So that's it. I'll chat to you in my next video. I hope you enjoyed, and thanks for watching. Bye.